Hey, it's Flango. Today, oh, hang on. Okay, so today, is an exciting day because I have been gifted a card that will allow me to finally get working on some of these Deck Doctor card decks that people have been asking for. So let's check the thing. Okay, here it is. This is the deck that Gunnar wants to be worked with. I think we can do it. Oh, I still don't own the... we'll see. I might own all the cards. Okay, so Eternal Gamester is the king. Okay. False Lightning. Oh man. Although I did want actually to see that. Mystic Obelisk. Okay. I think the Gamester has to run Obelisk. Soul Collector. Only two. Hmm. Ephemeral Garden. Three. Okay. Obviously you have to run Knowledge in Gamester, I think. Yeah. Geomance. Yeah, 100%. Barrier, yeah, 100%. And Meteor. Oh, I don't like that. I understand it. I don't like it. It only works with barrier. Hang on, let me activate streamer mode. Streamer mode. Okay, it's on. Yeah, I don't know. I can't. I understand that like it's a lot of damage. I think you need a better win con. I don't know though. Yeah, I think things that cost a lot, like Chimera and stuff like if you have board control, which you might, you should hopefully, then you can finish with other cards. To be honest, okay, I think we're gonna make big changes. What's the card that's like Chimera but has more health? I mean, we could just run Bog Dweller. It's kind of your choice of Bog Dweller, Chimera, maybe Shenlong, Stardust Regent probably. Desirous Guardian isn't bad either. I mean, I have nothing wrong with Dream Drake either. It just doesn't do a lot of damage. I'm gonna run Chimera instead of Bog Dweller, I think. Because we want the damage, not the health. Okay, so Barrier we keep. We might want 3. Geomancer's 100% keep. We might even want 3. Obelisk, yeah. And the nice thing about Obelisk is that it actually protects you from Geomancer. I don't understand the mage. You're not healing your Gamester. What are you healing? Is it just because it's a card that you can knowledge with the Gamester? I bet it is. To be honest, I think that's a little bit bull. Like, what do you gain? I understand having like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay, so let's max out Soul Collector, because having more Soul Collectors is better. And I think I would max out Geomancer too. I don't think False Lightning is a good card, to be honest. I just don't. I understand it works well with knowledge, but nah. I think max out Geomancer. This is mana, this is mana. I don't even know how well I like this mana yet, though. Um, Alright, what do we have for mana here? There's gotta be something that works better with Gamester. I mean, you're spamming the board. Seance isn't that bad. Worst case, well, I guess Seance doesn't quite give you barrier unless you have 3 minions. Okay, we can keep Garden. It's kind of a good blocker, too. I just really don't see how you live against, like, Shenlong. Shenlong's on top of you in a second. Knowledge is a gimmick. You can run it, 1 or 2, but not that many. Okay, how are you gonna get out? How are you gonna keep yourself alive against a king that's all over you? I don't know. How do, like, people do it with mobility? We don't have mobility. I think you need to be able to barrier ASAP. I think barrier is... There's no way you can't make that a 3 of. Wait. There you go. 3 of. After that, like, maybe just another Chimera. Well, what's dying, like, for Soul Collector? I guess you're using Geomancer? You don't have any cards. Like, okay. Here's what I mean. Okay, barrier is necessary for Gamester, but you don't get it until 2 Ephemeral Gardens have been placed, basically. Against aggro, at least. Soul Collector. You can play it, but you can't kill anything. That's my thesis. Knowledge can make all your mages play things again, which is nice, but then you need something that you actually want to play. Ephemeral Garden, again, doesn't do anything the turn it's played. Obelisk, you can play it, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do any damage. Geomancer is the only card that does things. And then Chimera now. I think this deck just needs a mid game. Well, Geomancer kind of is the mid game, but it doesn't work. Like, you can't play a card and then walk away because you're using play again every turn, basically. Maybe this deck needs an early game? Well, this deck needs Castle Knight. 100%. I don't know. How do we give this deck an early game? Other than just getting rid of Chimera. Oh man, this list is too tight. Okay, for now we're gonna be over. Okay. What must we... Can I just rebuild this deck as a concept? First of all, my Gamester deck does not look like this. Yeah, I'm gonna just rebuild the deck. It'll look similar, don't worry. Okay, give me 2 Castle Knights. Give me... mana cards. Well, actually, no, give me Barrier first. It's important. Okay, what gives me mana? I'm not actually very satisfied with the current mana cards. We can just play Exchange. That's not bad. Spend a turn, get 40 mana. Or like, you can also like, you can attack, exchange. Normally that's like, oh man, but you don't lose any tempo anymore. Because you're just exchanging a card and then you can play next turn. But I don't know if that's too far from the sort of plan. Maybe I'll go into mage first before I do mana, so I can make your deck. And I will make my I'll release my own Gamester deck tomorrow, in case you want to play what I believe is the strongest version. So yeah, we'll run your Geomancers because they're mages, and we definitely can run Obelisk, and I think we should. I don't know if we should run 3. Yeah, we should. And Soul Collector is a mana card and is a mage, so yes, I like. And now Knowledge, we're gonna run 1 or 2. I don't know what we dropped, to be honest, and that's a good thing. We're not gonna play Ephemeral Garden. Might seem kinda int, but we don't need to. What we need is cards. We need so many more cards. Alright. What costs a lot? Or we're gonna just run Chimera. I think we should just run with Chimera. What costs 0? We have a couple options here. We can run a 1 of, or we can just double down on Castle Knight. It's not an easy choice. I would also actually really like to play Skeleton Warrior. I think as like having bodyguards that just come back again and again is really good. Did I build True Swarm? I don't think I did. Maybe I'll do that. This is a pretty good bodyguard too. I don't know. It's really hard with these free cards. Sort me by attack so I can look at the best free cards. Yeah, Lava Golem, Crabulus, Icarus, and Griffin. Well, I guess Lesser Vampire is good now. Is Lesser Vampire really good? Yeah, it is. Might be the current best bodyguard. Soul Stealer is not bad, actually. But no, I like this. Let's try this. Wait, the idea with Soul Stealer is that you can get your 20 mana instantly. Okay, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna show you why. What did I just... Lesser Vampire. Okay, this is Mage Gamester. I think you're just not supposed to play the knowledge package. But I'm trying not to change the identity of your deck. Like, that's what I do with the deck doctor, is I show you how far you can take your concept, right? And I really do feel like it's not your concept if I just make the best Gamester deck. In the deck doctor requests, you can actually just... okay, wait, we just lose. Like, see this? This is called Coinflip Deckbuilding. And what I mean by this is, like, if you are... One sec. Okay. Actually, let me open up a whiteboard. or wait, not do I wanna white screen? That's what I want. I want to use Epic Pen. Cool. Here we go. So, Coinflip deck building is when you build a deck that basically loses in half or like in a specific scenario every time. So if you have a king with less than 10 health, right? If you have less than 10 health, this is coin flipping because if you are going second, you're dead. Like 80 to 90% of the time against every aggro deck, which in PvP is probably 80% of the time, to be honest. Maybe not because people are messing around with dumb shit, but it could be like still 50%, right? And in tournaments, you're looking at 80, right? So that's just like, that's on you, man. Um, so yeah, and I guess we'll actually just make this video also about coin flipping. So, sorry guys. Okay, so Control Shift Z. Cool. Ways that you can coin flip. HP. Low HP, right? Then, actually, no. So let's talk about win con. Yeah. So when you're building a deck, you have to worry about going first. Usually you don't lose when you're going first. So usually this is okay. And in Gamester, this is okay. Um, although, we have to worry, like, when we're going first with this deck, we need to have an obelisk, right? Maybe I'll make it taller so it looks, well, give it one of these. Whatever, obelisk. Looks kind of phallic, to be honest. Let's see if we can. I don't know, I drew it better last time. Anyways, we need to have an obelisk. And then we also need to have barrier as soon as we can. If we don't have obelisk or barrier, then we are screwed, right? And barrier costs mana. And we actually can't get 20 mana, so this is almost not even a first turn thing. Yeah, so we need to be blocking ourselves. Like, this is our king. Put a thing in front. But even then, it's not super easy. Lots of cards can, like, like if a Chimera as king or a Bog Dweller as king can come up right here, and we are here, and then we blocked here, but it can just play a card here, which can hit us. Or play a card here, which is like a side jump card, right? And we have 2 health, so we're just dead. So yeah, you have to worry that if you are going first, you have to make sure that you live, which this deck kind of does. Alright, that should be the last interruption. Next up, you have to worry about going second, right? If your HP is too low, which is our deck, you just die. You're just gone. But there's also decks like aggro decks, right? And when they're going second, they actually just are so behind on tempo already that they lose. And that is also coin flipping. So manaless aggro is actually an instance of coin flipping in some scenarios because when you're going second, first of all, you have 15 mana that's unused. Second of all, you have no mana for the rest of the game. You're already being attacked. If there's a Shenlong in your face, it's over because you're not tanking 20 damage. And that is why I recommend running Geomancer and Manaless Aggro, even though you can't make any mana, because it turns into less of a coin flip. But anyways, Manaless Aggro got nerfed, and we're gonna pretend like it doesn't work anymore, so it doesn't get nerfed again. Only half joking there. To be honest, it's not as good anymore. Okay, yeah, so that's another coin flip. Now then there's matchup coin flips, which is a little bit more complicated. Because you kind of have to read the meta. And like, there's a chance that the matchup with specifically Volcano. There's a chance that the matchup with specifically Volcano is really bad. But we're not really worried about that because that's not even a matchup that actually exists, right? But I already have a meta-analysis video, and I don't want to go into that any further really yet. But yeah, idea of coin flipping. There's more to this coin flip thing, but I can't think of it. Like the matchups. There was an example I was thinking of sometime recently. Anyways, this. Now you know. So this deck is very coin flippy. Every Gamester deck, 100% of the time loses when going second, right? Well, not 100% of the time, but pretty much. And that's a really big oof. Like, what can you even do about that? To be honest, nothing. So this is my qualm. Where is that Gamester deck? Play multiplayer or single player? Tower mode. Single player. Okay, anyways, here's the... Let's just keep going. Okay, we're going first. So finally we get to see the true colors of this deck, right? Why is it so damn loud? I turned it down a lot. Okay, so we're blocking. It's important. There's also no reason to play again. So that's another downside of... How? How is it so loud? Okay. I wonder if it's because my... Well, we'll see. Hopefully this volume suits you. Oh, actually I can open OBS and see how... Yeah, this is probably about right, to be honest. Yeah, so this is my qualm. Is like, play again, doesn't even work on the first turn often. So this deck is just so slow. And everything kills you. And like, look, we actually just have to wait and hope that nothing happens. I could have moved onto that square. I'm gonna die now. Yeah. But that is the deck. Like, unfortunately, Gamester just dies most of the time. Through no fault of your own except for the fact that you picked a bad deck. Like, yeah. Okay. So we've got Obelisk. You 100% need to run 3 of these. Oh my god. That's a thing. Okay, well, we don't take damage. So that's a plus. to play Geomancer. This is why I'm taking so long. I want to play Geomancer, but it doesn't actually do anything. And it compromises my situation a little bit. And I would really rather just get Barrier out. I'll go put an obelisk over there. It's a slow process, but we'll get there eventually. I mean, I might as well hit this because that heals back up. Although I should have played Geomancer there. It's a little bit oof. Okay. Change of plans, we're doing this. That's definitely a better play. It was arguably correct to play 2 cards this turn, but eh. As long as this obelisk lives, I don't need to play another. I kind of want to move up, but then I can't play again. So I guess I'm just going to play again. So, I mean, we're not against a very competitive deck, but this is like the true colors of this deck. The opponent can't do too much, and we can. We can do too much. Play again. Might as well just do this, I guess. Nah, but I don't know what to do. This deck does not feel very strong. That was a mistake on my part. It's fine, we still win. But yeah, so this deck does fairly well when going second, when lucky. But let me show you the ultimate counter. This. Right here. Okay. We're going first. Lucky us. I guess we're gonna do this. You have to understand that we are already very, very lucky. If that thing dies, I at least get mana out of it. I can't actually kill either of them. So now what? Oh man, this is not a good deck. You could argue that some of my changes are at least cause of the ungood of this deck, but I don't even think that's all that valid. I think it's just that, like, you would have had the same problem that there's just no cards in this deck. Luckily, we have been blessed. I think instead of Castle Knight, it's really not that bad to run those other guys. Maybe we're gonna beat it. Maybe I was mistaken. I think the AI played this poorly, but that's just a given. Yeah, we did win it. I guess who am I to say that this deck is bad then? So yeah, I still think that might be the best version of your deck. Though to be honest, I don't really see a world in which you're gonna want. Okay, let's go back into this. Weird. Edit. Okay. I don't see a world in which knowledge is useful. And at that point, that means that we can get out of playing this. That means that we can just play a bunch of small, like, we can actually play. Hmm. This honestly just feels better to me already. Like, what do you need a lot of mana for other than Chimera? And then maybe you can even just rework Chimera. I'm sure there's a card that you want under 40. What's under 40? Oh, hey, look, Bog Dweller. Done. That's the deck. It just already feels better, man. I would go so far as to drop Soul Collector and play Exchange. I think, and this is personal bias, every deck builder, every brewer will have a style, right? So I think to ruin Terra and like Swim puts um, Elise in all of his decks, and Alan ZQ puts Katarina in all of his decks. It doesn't need to be like a card too, right? So like Alan ZQ generally tends to sort of put uh, a control-y spin on all of his decks, and if you look like I don't have any other. I don't follow Hearthstone anymore. Who even still plays Hearthstone? Let's find out. Hearthstone pros. Okay, if it just still plays. Dog still play. Oh, Firebat still plays. Oh, Trump. Okay, Trump. Again, he sort of control-y. He plays aggro, but also mostly kind of puts a control version on all of his aggros, right? These must be old Hearthstone players, but whatever. Um, Firebat tends to actually more aggro tint his decks, but whatever. It's not about that, right? Everyone has a style. My style is more minions. I like the minions because I like to control the board, right? Lots of players like explosion and whatever because it kind of is a quick swing. But I don't like swing. I don't like to feel like I'm behind. I like to be constantly ahead, and I like to slowly win the game. So, well, I don't want to necessarily, but yeah, I guess I emphasize board control, having minions, having a safe place on the board, right? Not everyone does that. Lots of people like Sturm even likes to live life on the fly and kind of zoom zoom. I would never have come up with Bog Dweller Duel, right? It's not my style. My style is have lots of minions. His style is I have a king. I'm gonna hit your king now. So yeah. Anyways, styles. There's styles that exist, and I won't say that this is the best Gamester deck, but to me, and this might be my style speaking, this is just way better. You have the ability to control the board with uh, Castle Knight, Geomancer, and Skeleton Warrior. You also have chump blockers, so that your tiny, weak, useless king can stay alive. And these chump blockers double as a benefit for exchange. So your odds of surviving until you get an obelisk, which is just 3 cards, which hypergeometric calculator. You have 19 cards. There are 3 of the card you want. You are getting 4 cards in your first hand. And you want 1 obelisk. That's not very high, you know? Now you're going to have drawn 6 by the next turn. Still not very high. Going to have drawn 8 by that turn after that. Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to be looking at the cumulative. Okay, back to the 4. Okay, you're actually around 50. But still, that's not very high for something that, you know. So 6, having a chump blocker. Oh, shoot. 1. Did I do everything wrong again? Okay, 53. 6. You chump block, you get to the next turn. You're already at 70%. Still not good for, like, surviving. Like, you have a 70% chance of making it to that next turn, basically. But, assuming that by some miracle and lots of chump blockers, if you don't have those, then you just lose. You make it. Now you're at 82. So now you have, like, you know, decent chance of being somewhere. Now the other reason why I run Exchange is because it actually turns Barrier into one of those outs. So kind of, if you have a chump blocker left and you're at 6, then you can exchange Barrier in a turn and then survive. But yeah, overall, like, you need to find a way to make, like, you can't stall, obviously. And a good player will hit your obelisk a lot faster than the AI did, right? So you need to find a way to stall. But not only stall, but to, like, actually fight back, right? Because your other deck was basically stalling until Meteor, and then it does 27 damage to the king and then loses the game, right? It didn't feel very good. And it didn't, yeah, there was no offensive pressure at all. So yeah. Long story short, this is why I like minions. They have to hit them. Minions are permanent, right? So if they don't hit them, then all of a sudden I'm doing damage. All of a sudden I'm playing 3 Skeleton Warriors and doing 33 damage to you. Like, that's a win con on its own. So this is my version, and this has been my rant. If you stuck around, I love you. Thank you so much. Goodbye.